You're in the process of deciding to join Creators Circle and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I think I can make this work, but why do I have to pay upfront? Like, that seems a bit weird and crazy. What's this about? Why does he want all the money up front? Is that just because he likes to have big chunks of money or something? What's this about? To be honest, I would really like to not take payment up front. One of the things that I'm really working on is better cash flow management. So I get my cash in a big chunk because I take payment up front. Then I've got to be very responsible with spreading it out over the year and how I manage it. And I've grown a lot in that, I have to say, over the past year. But this is definitely not set up in a way because it's ideal for me. And I've tried it lots of ways. And I've been doing this 10 years. And it's the way it is for a very specific reason. For me, a coaching relationship is like a marriage. And for me, I wasn't a guy that wanted to get married. My parents got divorced when I was a kid, and it was like, nah, it's not my thing. I like the freedom. I like the freedom of not being committed in a relationship. And then I grew up. I fell in love with a beautiful, wonderful woman, and I wanted kids. And she was like, well, got to get married. And at the time, I was studying the work of Joseph Campbell and starting to understand ritual and myth in a new way. And I started to open my mind to the possibility. And now, fast forward 10 years later, I am such a happily married man. I love being married. But why? Because marriage is a container for relationship in which you can't just leave. And why? Why is that useful? Why is that good? Because when you can't just leave a relationship, you're in it, you're contained. It means that if something's not working, then the only way out is to grow. The only way out of the not workingness is to grow, is to change. And one of my favorite aspects of my work in creating is the utilization of my relationship with my clients to grow them. That when it gets uncomfortable, that's our best opportunity for growth. So when we are in a relationship where you're committed heavily up front, we create the possibility that you can't go anywhere. I mean, you could, but certainly you're invested in a way that it has us be engaged in a way where the relationship can contain the energy of discomfort. And sometimes discomfort's because you get really fucking pissed off at me or annoyed. Sometimes discomfort is because I'm not getting results and this is not exciting for me. And I'm happy with both. Because in either case, or in any case, if you're not happy, then my work is to help you to see how you are creating that. Because I can guarantee you, if you're in a relationship with me and you're not happy for any reason, I'm not the only guy in the world where that's happening. And if I am, then you're avoiding every possible relationship where you might come face to face with you not showing up in a way that creates results, or you showing up in a way that pisses people off or doesn't work well for you. So I love when our relationship's not working, because the only way out is for you to grow. Or you can walk away and leave me with the money. That's never happened. But you could. Actually, that has happened twice, where people have left and left me with the money. But it wasn't because they weren't happy. They were just at a point where they got more than they wanted out of the program already, and life got busy, and they said, I'm going to move on. I'm so happy. So the people that I've had leave early are people that have actually gotten what they wanted already and just didn't feel like finishing the program. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about you wanting to know why I take money up front, and I'm explaining to you it's because then you're committed in such a way where you can't leave because you're not happy. Okay, that's just like in a marriage. It forces growth. It creates the possibility of a contained relationship. And so within that, one of the things that I do in my work is I help people to access and locate a depth of self-reliance, of self-agency that is oftentimes confronting. What do I mean by that? Well, I said earlier in this video right now, like, I help a person to see how they're creating anything that they don't like that's showing up in our relationship, and the lack of results, or not wanting to face a certain thing, or just the challenges that I bring, like any upset that they might have. I have clients that are pissed off at me all the time. And then we work through it, and they grow from it, and I grow from it, and everything is better because of that, right? And so, with specifically, one of the things that I'm focused on in the work of creating is helping a person to see how they create everything that they're experiencing in their life. And so I want to set up the container where you have to come face to face with you thinking that it's something outside of you, the coaching program or me or just the amount of time you have in your life. Like the circumstances have changed. It's not what I thought it was, or my job's changed, circumstances have changed, and now it's just not right for me. It's like, well, I want to help. There's no better opportunity that I could possibly have than to be in a situation where you think me or our relationship or the circumstances of your life that's changed right now is a reason for you to walk away. That power is outside of you and you don't have any choice. I love those conversations because it's only in those conversations where I get to help a person see how powerfully they are creating a world that seems so true and real for them. And when you can see it in that situation, not only in the now moment, but in our relationship, then you get a level of growth and change and access to your power of creating that's profound. And I don't get to have that with every client. Lots of clients come in and they do the work and they're happy and they get growth, and our relationship doesn't necessarily become a context for their creation, but I don't miss out on that chance with people who could potentially gain that. And so this is why I take payment up front. The way it contains our relationship gives you the power to create so much more. And for most people who we don't necessarily have a thing and we have to use our relationship to grow you, the structure where the relationship is still contained because you're committed up front, like the energy that people bring to work in Creator Circle is greater because they're invested from the beginning. And the commitment that they show up with in the first session and the way that they listen, because they've laid down $5,000 plus a payment plan, or they laid up the whole $10,000 up front, because they've committed in that way and they know everybody else has, the energy of the circle and the energy that everybody brings is so much greater. And you get more bang for your buck when you're more committed anyway. Watch the other videos about Creator Circle and you get a sense of how that's part of the theme. So there's a real purpose to taking payment up front, if not in full, then at least half. You're at least halfway invested, and then your monthly payments are you're on the downslope from there. So it has the same energy. That's why the least I'll take up front is half. Plus a payment plan, there's a little bit more of a finance charge on that, but like at least half up front because it serves the same energetic function, the containment. You're more than half invested. You're more than halfway in from the get-go, and it has that feel to it. So I hope that I've communicated to you the purpose and the function of you being invested heavily up front in Creator Circle, and I look forward to you joining us. If you're ready, send me a message. Let's connect. Much love. Bye for now.